Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A couple of questions about the Queen of Sheba or the Queen of Saba called Bilquis. When we posted some videos about her, a question came that, especially from Africa, that we have always learned that she was an African queen and not an Arab queen. However, we find that Arabs say that she was an Arab queen from Yemen. So what exactly is it? So can you talk about that? And also, Sulaiman alayhi salam had his kingdom in Africa also. So can you talk about how the kingdom of Sulaiman alayhi salam reached in Africa? So since these are two separate questions, we will be dealing with them in two separate videos. So here we will talk about the identity of Queen of Sheba or Bilquis or the Queen of Saba. And it is a very debatable topic, and historical references or sources provide different perspectives on her origin. As you already know, there is an Arabian perspective, which many Islamic and Arab traditions identify her as an Arab queen from South Arabia, which is modern-day Yemen, that she was ruling over the kingdom of Saba or the Sabaean kingdom. The Sabaeans were an ancient Semitic people who lived in what is now Yemen and were known for their wealth, for their trade, and for their engineering achievement. And then we have an African perspective where some sources, especially the Ethiopian traditions, claim that she was from Ethiopia or the kingdom of Aksum. And there is no difference of opinion about the fact that she visited Sulaiman alayhi salam or King Solomon. Now, you have to see geographically, Yemen and Ethiopia are geographically very close. And if you remember the story of Abraha, Aryata, and the King Najashi, you will know that there are armies from Africa through the African Horn or from the Aksum Empire that would come and occupy Yemen. Similarly, over the historical period, we would see that the Yemeni kings would have influence in Africa. There are so many Yemeni tribes that are spread all over Africa as well. Now they are mixed into the Africans, and there are so many Africans who have migrated to Yemen and are mixed into the Yemeni tribes. So over the period of time, there is a lot of mixing between these two regions because they're so close to each other. There had been exchange of trade goods and also power and shifting of people for migration purposes. So if you look at the Islamic perspective, the Quran and the Tafsir, in Quran, Surah An-Naml narrates the story of powerful queen ruling over Sheba or Saba, a very wealthy kingdom, and she was described as having a magnificent throne and ruling with wisdom. So Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam invited her to Islam after learning about her through the hoopoe bird Hudhud. And in tafsir literature, like classical scholars like Ibn Kathir and At-Tabri, they identify Sheba or Saba as a kingdom in Yemen, associating Bilquis with the Sabaean civilization. And some hadith narration also suggests about her Yemeni lineage. And if you look at the biblical and the Jewish perspective, in Bible, in the Kings, and also in the Chronicles, you will find that the Queen of Sheba visits King Solomon in Jerusalem, bringing gifts of gold, spices, and precious stones. She tests Sulaiman alayhi salam's wisdom and leaves impressed by his knowledge and wealth. Similarly, in the Jewish Midrashic text, Targum Shini on Esther, it describes her as a queen of a distant land but provide no specific ethnicity. And some Jewish traditions suggest that she had African ancestry based on her kingdom being across the Red Sea. So the exact location of Sheba is debated, with possibilities including Yemen and parts of Africa like Ethiopia. Now, if you look at the Ethiopian perspective, the Ethiopian tradition, especially in the Kabra Nagas, the glory of the kings, identifies the Queen of Sheba as Makeda, an Ethiopian ruler. And Ethiopian tradition suggests that Sheba or Saba includes parts of modern Ethiopia and Eritrea. And genetic studies indicate historical links between Ethiopia and South Arabia, suggesting there could be cross-cultural influence. So Bilquis was maybe an African, possibly from Ethiopia or Aksum descent. So both Yemen and Ethiopia claim Bilqis as their own, and the strongest historical evidence points to the kingdom of Saba, that is in Yemen, making her most likely an Arab queen. However, due to cross-cultural ties between Yemen and Ethiopia, some Ethiopian influence in her lineage is also possible. That's why both sides of the Red Sea are claiming that she was her queen. She was a queen from their region. And the lineage of Bilqis is not explicitly recorded in historical texts, but various traditions, particularly Islamic, Arab, and Ethiopian sources, offer some different genealogical accounts. So I want to present to you some of the details of that. So for example, if you look at those people who claim that she had an Yemeni origin, so as Islamic historians and Arab genealogists trace Queen Bilqis' ancestry to the Sabaean royal family, or the royal family of the kingdom of Saba, which is in South Arabia, modern-day Yemen, and some sources provide lineage that connects her to the legendary Sabaean kings. So one commonly cited genealogy states that Bilqis was the daughter of Eder, a man by the name of Al-Hadhad or Hudhad. So that's one particular. So Bilqis bint al-Hudhad or Hudad. There are two different names. And then bin Sharhil bin the Jadan. Bin in Arabic means son of. So she's the daughter of Hudad or Hudhad, who is the son of Sharhil, who is the son of the Jadan, who is the son of the Ru'aysh, who is the son of Al-Harith, who is the son of Qais, who is the son of Saifi, who is the son of Saba. And Saba is the one to whom it is attributed that he's the one who started the kingdom of Saba. He's the Mu'assis, Mamlikat Saba. And then he's the son of Yashjab, who is the son of Qahtan. So the founder of Sabaean kingdom is 9 generations from Bilqis, and then 2 generations from Saba is Qahtan, the legendary ancestor of the South Arabian Qahtani tribes. And Qahtan is considered the ancestor of the South Arabian tribes, meaning Bilqis was from an ancient Arab dynasty. And the Sabaean kings ruled from Yemen, and Bilqis was likely part of this ruling family. So that's one particular aspect when it comes to the genealogy. I'll also talk about the Ethiopian tradition also, just so that you can see both sides of the story. So if this account of lineage is accurate, it would place her within the Hamurite Sabaean royal family, making her an Arab queen of Yemeni descent. And in Ethiopian tradition, especially from Kebra Nagest, the queen of Sheba, is identified as Makeda, a different name, a queen from Aksum, which is modern-day Ethiopia and Eritrea. And according to this tradition, she was born into a royal dynasty in Ethiopia. So Ethiopian claims suggest she had African ancestry through historical links between Ethiopia and South Arabia were strong due to trade and migration. And as I told you, in the Jewish and the biblical traditions, the Bible, in Kings and the Chronicles, it does not mention her lineage or ancestry, only that she ruled Sheba. And however, some Jewish midrashic sources suggest that she might have been of a mixed ancestry, possibly linking her to both Arab and African heritage. So you need to understand that there was a trade and migration that was happening very, very often between Yemen and Ethiopia. So the Sabaean kingdom and the kingdom of Aksum had extensive trade and cultural exchanges, and that was happening across the Red Sea. And many South Arabians settled in East Africa, and there was intermarriage between Sabaean traders and local African population. And archaeological evidence shows that the Sabaean script and cultural influence can be also found in the ancient Ethiopian civilization. And some Ethiopian rulers had the Sabaean names and may have had Arabian ancestry. And some Islamic and Ethiopian traditions suggest that Bilqis' mother was from Ethiopia or Eritrea, making her of mixed Arab and African descent. And some Jewish and Islamic legends also talks about her appearance being dark-skinned, implying an African connection. In certain Jewish Midrashic sources and Islamic traditions, she's described having an unusual lineage, sometimes linked to the jinn or an exotic ancestry, and we have had a very detailed lecture on that already present on this channel. So if you want to hear about the details of she being a hybrid of a human and a jinn. So Ethiopian tradition, Kebra Negest, which is the glory of the kings. It is a 14th century Ethiopian text. It provides a different genealogy of Queen Bilquis, identifying her as by the name of Makeda, the queen of Sheba. And Ethiopian sources do not provide a clear list of ancestors like the Arab sources do, but they claim that she was part of the Aksumite royal dynasty. So this tradition suggests that Bilquis or Makeda was African, ruling over an Ethiopian or Eritrean kingdom. So there are two separate claims about her heritage, about her ancestry. So it is quite possible she was a mixed race. Allah knows best. So again, my job over here is to do research and bring you answers from different sources, and not to draw any particular conclusion. So just so that you know, these are two different stories or three different stories about her being Ethiopian or being Yemeni or being mixed. Allah knows best. Anyway, I hope you liked my work, and if you did, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, Deep Deen, and don't forget to put your comments down below. Inshallah, we'll see you in the next video, because we still need to answer one more question about Queen Bilquis. Did she marry Solomon, Prophet Solomon or Sulaiman alayhi salam? And how did the kingdom of Sulaiman alayhi salam spread in Africa? So inshallah, we'll talk about it in the next video. Till then, assalamu alaikum.